Okay, now I will briefly introduce the factor theorem. And what is it? What is the factor theorem? Well, that is it right here. If we have f of a, and a can be just a constant, basically any number, and if f of a is 0, this means that then that x minus a is a factor of the function f of x. So I will show you a couple of examples here. And I'm going to be assuming that you're good at factoring, or that at least you understand factoring. First of all, let me just, I guess, call this f of x. And let's say that I want to factor this trinomial. So I can just rewrite f of x as x minus... No, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to -3 and add up to -2. Those two numbers will be -3 and +1. Right? Because -3 plus 1 is -2. And -3 times 1, -3. Look at that. So, fantastic. We already know both. We know that x plus 1 is a factor of x squared minus 2x minus 3, and we also know that x minus 3 is a factor of f of x. But what does that really, how does that relate to the factor theorem? Well, let's say that I picked 3, the number 3, and I decided to make it the a. So I have f of 3 equals, and I can just plug in the 3 in here, 3 squared minus 2 times 3 minus 3. 3 squared is 9. -2 times 3, I get a -6, minus 3. 9 minus 6 minus 3 is 0. Look at that. So f of 3 is 0, meaning that x minus 3 is a factor. So that is the relationship between the number that we plug in here. So if we get 0 for f of a, we know that x minus a is a factor. So if I plugged in f of negative, or if I plug in the -1 for x, I would also get a 0. Why -1? Because here we have x plus 1, right? Which is essentially x minus -1. So in this case, our a is the -1. So what does all of this mean? So if you find out any number that you plug in for x, right? So f of question mark, and you get 0, then you know that x minus question mark is a factor of f of x. So now what I'm going to do is that I will essentially use this marvelous theorem, which is the factor theorem, to factor this out. And let me call this g of x. This function will be g of x. And I'm just going to plug in a 1 here to see if it works. Later in future videos, I'll show you how to guess a factor that might work out, or a number that can work. You can always try 1 and -1. Those are usually safe bets. And if that doesn't work out, we're going to essentially usually look for factors that can go into the -2, but we're going to talk about that later, actually. So 1 cubed is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, minus 1 minus 2. This would give us 0. Fantastic. So what does this mean? This means that x minus 1 is a factor of g of x. Okay? Oops, that was unintentional. Now, how can I go further here and factor the rest of this, find out the other factors of this polynomial? Well, in this case, I'm going to use synthetic division. So I'm going to write down a 1 here, then a 2, then a -1, and a -2. If you're not familiar with this, with synthetic division, you can visit our website and check out synthetic division. And what I'm going to plug in here is the 1, because I already know that x minus 1 is a factor. So bring down a 1, 1 times 1 is 1. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 times 1, 3. 3. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. And that's a plus 2. 2 times 1, 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. What does that mean? That is x squared, 1x squared, right? Plus 3x plus 2. Fantastic. Now I can just factor this as a regular trinomial. Right? So two numbers that multiply to 2 and add up to 3. Those numbers will be 1 and 2. So you get x plus 1 and x plus 2. The other factor was x minus 1, right? So I know that g of x can be rewritten as x minus 1 times x plus 1 times x plus 2. And that's it. And so hopefully that makes good sense. I covered basically almost everything that you need to know about the factor theorem. And check out some more videos to make sense of it all. And good luck.